everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Wednesday, May 9th, 2018. Now before I get started, I just wanted to remind you all I am doing my free webinar live tonight on Facebook on Uranus and Taurus, happening at 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain time, my time zone. So if you want to join me, please find the link down below in my description box so you can figure out how to get there on Facebook, okay? I'm going to talk about Uranus and Taurus, what it means, Uranus and Aries, what that meant, as well as what is going on by your sun sign too, okay? So feel free to join me there for free if you want. Also, please write what kind of questions you have, what questions you want me to answer, either down below in the comments or in the Facebook group itself. I'll be looking at those so I can prepare a little bit before I do my live video. Okay, so that's what I've got for you. The next thing I want to mention, my May 2018 webinar, I do have it available. I think, to me, to be honest, this week is one of the most intense weeks of the month. It's not my favorite week coming in. Yeah, and even though I think I made it sound maybe a little bit more rosy than it can be, but this week is an intense week. If you want to learn how to handle that, then please check out the link as well down below in my description box. Now for your daily, what we've got today is the moon hanging out in Pisces. And Pisces, the moon in Pisces brings our attention to what's going on inside us, spiritually, emotionally, internally, what we need in life to feel more peace, bring more peace and wholeness to our life. What else? Pisces, as well, we get thinking about our past, brings our attention to the past. Of course, with the moon just being on the south node a few days later, trying to make sense of our past and to process everything. And sometimes with the moon in Pisces, you will get a little bit more of an introspective kind of feeling to the day, maybe wanting to spend some time alone or in reflection. Okay, so that's what's coming in today with this moon in Pisces, which I believe it entered late last night. Okay. So that's what we've got here. Late last night, right before the moon entered Pisces, the moon did make a sextile to Uranus. So that could have brought up some unexpected insight. I like to think a positive one at the end of the day yesterday that we're now today processing, making sense of, getting comfortable with on the inside before we move on. All right, so that's where we are today. Now at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, the moon's going to move further through Pisces and it's going to make a sextile here to Saturn. Okay, and I like that because you know I like sextiles. And I think what that can help you to do at 1 p.m. Mountain Time is, I like to think, hopefully feel like, right, you're taking more control of your life. You're putting more of the boundaries and the structures in your life that you need in order to feel much better. Okay, so that's what I think is going on. I think we're trying to pay attention to our spirit, to what we need inside, and I think us taking maybe a step back to get right with ourselves, to step away from the rat race, can then help us figure out where is it that we want our life to go and how do we move in that direction in a way that can make us feel more comfortable, in a way that's more practical, in a way that really works, okay? So I think that's just what's coming in today, figuring out how we can move forward and maybe feeling like we are able to move forward, putting our life in a better place, in a better way than we have recently. Okay, or feeling at least a little bit more at peace. If we're not making a whole bunch of progress, just feeling like the things that we have been doing lately are maybe starting to pay off a little bit. Okay, so that's happening there, and that's actually the only aspect for today. And so after that happens at 1 p.m., the moon is just going to chill until tomorrow at 4 a.m. Mountain Time. And tomorrow at 4 a.m., the moon's going to come over a conjunction with Neptune. And I think what that could bring, again, is a chance for us to maybe take a step back, to spend some time in creativity and reflection and meditation. And I think that's going to be really, really positive with the conjunction to Neptune tomorrow morning, especially because the moon's in Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So I think really what we have going on is just a need to take a step back, to get right with yourself emotionally, to be patient, to process everything, to learn the lessons of the past few months and weeks and days, and I think all of that is just going to improve, is going to help us feel better by like leaps and bounds with what's going on. All right, so maybe I'll leave it there. Okay, because that's really all that's happening today. It feels weird. I'm like, really? That's all that's happening going on? All right. Now other stuff happening in the background is that we do have Mercury in a square with Pluto, even though thank goodness this aspect is moving further and further away because it has been very intense for me. So what Mercury in a square with Pluto could definitely bring are some very intense conversations, hard conversations, negotiations about money, about sex, about your time and your resources that you share with other people. Maybe feeling like there's a big change that you need to make in regards to all of that. Your money, how you do things on the day-to-day, who you do things with. That could be a little bit hard for you to communicate with other people about or to think to yourself about. Okay, the good news is that this aspect is moving further away and that this moon today is in a much better spot. So if it's been hard for you to figure this stuff out this week and very frustrating, what you need to change in order to feel better about your life, when it comes to money, relationships, intimacy, I do think that today we're going to hopefully start to get more peace in regards to some of these matters, as long as we are taking the time out to listen to our spirit and soul and to not force things before they're ready. Okay, so that's happening there. We also do have, let's see, Venus in a square with Neptune, even though it's starting to move away as well, which could bring up some confusion about relationships, which the moon is going to come into tomorrow, could come in, going on. I think we're trying to communicate with the other people, especially with this Mercury square Pluto aspect, and maybe there's just something about our communication that's going wrong, or our thought processes that are going wrong, because maybe there's so much going on emotionally, so much going on inside us, so much going on spiritually, subconsciously, that's making it hard for us to express what we're feeling, to say things that we want to say or need to say with others, that we're trying to work out. I really do think this moon in Pisces is really helping us to say, okay, maybe there's been a lot of things on your mind that's been frustrating you today, this week, but really needing to get a handle on that, to process it, to get a better perspective so that you can move forward. And I think today there is an opportunity to do that a little bit in some way. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Also, we do have the Sun here in an opposition with Jupiter, so us trying to build more stability and be more confident in our life, but still having some big changes going on, really needing to figure out how to balance change with stability. And I think that's what a lot of our conversations are about. A lot of the things that we're thinking about that are hard, and with relationships, is like, I really want to just feel better about my life and more stable with what's going on and with the way things are happening. And I think that's what the hard conversations perhaps are about. It's like, why don't I feel the way I want to feel? Why don't I feel as confident as I want to feel, as I need to feel? And what do I need to change in order to get there? That could be the hard part, because maybe we aren't quite sure yet, or we're confused, or maybe we need other people to help us do the things that we want to do, and we're not quite sure how to work that out either. So I think that's a lot of what's going on here, and really just needing to figure out what we need to do, what changes, and how, in order to feel much better about it all. Okay. So I see that going on there. Also, Mercury coming into a square with Mars too, which is going to happen as we get further and further through the week. So not only are we having conversations about things that are really, really important to us, about things we need to change, about some emotional stuff or some stuff that's emotionally charged underneath the surface coming in. I think we could get a little bit impatient with this Mercury square Mars, a little bit impulsive, especially because Mercury is going to square Uranus too, and because Mercury is going to move on top of Uranus. So I think we could be getting a little bit impatient about things, a little bit impulsive. I think we could be a little bit quick on the trigger when it comes to some decisions, maybe that we feel we need to make as well, and really just needing to just pace yourself and to just chill for a second, especially with this Pisces moon. Like, time to just chill and to process and to let things take their own course and work in their own time. And I think that could be, maybe that's like the hard part, is that we're like, there's so many things that aren't right, and we're so close to having things in a much better spot, but they aren't, and wanting to rush to make everything happen before it's due, before it's time, and really just needing to wait. Things will fall into place, maybe not this week, maybe not next week, because we're going to have Uranus moving signs next week, but hopefully things will eventually start to get better, okay? And just needing to wait things out for insights to come, for everything to start to fall into place, okay? So that's what we've got going on there. Maybe I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. I know, I'm like thinking, I'm like, when is it gonna get better? I think we won't be feeling as pressured as we are now. Like, I think there's a lot of impatience that's gonna come in soon, a lot of nervous energy that's coming in. Like that's just, yeah, I just feel a lot of that going on. Maybe it's because we know Uranus is changing signs, like intuitively, or we can feel it. And maybe that's bringing up some intense feelings like, did I master everything of the past 8 years? Well, Uranus was in Aries. Subconsciously, maybe this is what we're thinking. Did I do everything I wanted to do? Is there anything left undone that I haven't done that I need to make happen? And I think there could be a lot of anxious energy going around here, just feeling like this is our last chance to make things happen. And in some ways, like, this is a good chance to push things through that you've been waiting on for quite a long time, but in some ways it could kind of make that a little bit worse. And I think what we really need to figure out is the balance, when to say things, when not to say things, what to say, how to say it, especially with the Mercury, Pluto, and the Venus and Neptune thing. I think we're just trying to figure all of that out. Yeah, I know, because I've been looking at the astrology for next month, just trying to plan my webinar for all of that, and I'm like, man, part of me is like, you want to get everything done that you can get done this month, because next month it's going to be really, really hard for you to push forward on your agenda to make things happen. Like, next month I feel like it's going to be all about relationships, going to need lots of patience. Maybe you're going to need to be a little more passive than you're used to. So there's a big part of me that's like, get everything done you need to get done this month. But then I look at some of these aspects and I'm like, but if you force things too much this week and this month, then you're going to get things done wrong or you're going to make situations worse. And so I think it's really just a matter here of staying the course, doing what you want and need to do, but making sure that you aren't too impulsive, making sure that you aren't too impatient, and making sure that you've got your head on straight as you make some decisions here and move forward, okay? Coming in. All right, maybe we all just want to break free, and I don't know if we're going to have some big liberating moment. I mean, maybe we will when Uranus enters Aries at the new moon. I think that could be very liberating, but I think we have a lot of responsibilities. We have a lot of things in our mind that we need to like take care of that may not make us feel as liberated as it is that we ultimately want to feel, even if we're moving in that direction. And I think just needing to take your wins where you can get wins, let go of your losses where you have losses, and just do your best to keep going. Yeah, it's so interesting. I hate it when things too are messing with my planet, with Mercury. I'm like, because then I feel that it makes my thought processes also a lot harder to follow. But this is what we're dealing with. This is the reality we're living in right now. Your card is the 10 of Wands upright. I like this card, especially for a third quarter moon. This is saying you got too much going on today. Needing to unburden yourself, needing to let some things go. I like this. To me, this is very Pisces. Pisces to me lets things go. It's the 12th sign. You always hear me say that of the zodiac. And at the 12th sign, it realizes, okay, maybe I've done too much. I need to let things that aren't working for me leave so I can do something else that's different, or so I can focus on the things that are going to be better for me, okay? So I think that's coming in. I also do see Pisces as the sign of meditation, and sometimes when it comes to meditation, you have to let the worries of the day go so that you can find your inner peace. Take a step back and have a moment to yourself without all the worries of the day going on. And I think that's what this card is saying. Maybe just quieting your mind a little bit, letting go of the things that are bothering you for a second, or getting rid of some things that are no longer serving you so you can focus on the things that really do matter. Okay? Yeah, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.